Hello, David. These are your comments for task 4 regarding English. Firstly, generally a good text, very clearly written and easy to follow. A few comments regarding the very local level. When you abbreviate Comprehensive Approach CA, it doesn't really work that well in the text. Grammatically, it gives you some issues in terms of how to phrase the words. So while I think it's fine for you to abbreviate the operation, inherent resolve is fine, the names, that's fine, but with Comprehensive Approach, I would suggest you write that out completely throughout. It's a very key term that you use, so it seems to me that it should be written out. Outside of that, there is an issue with the use of the apostrophe S, where you actually mean, I think, the plural S, that just the S at the end of NGOs, for instance, to suggest that there are more than one. We use apostrophe S for the possessive case, IFL, or genitiv, and the S alone is when it's a plural. Outside of that, you write correct English. So those are two very easily fixable things for you to consider. Outside of that, going from top to bottom here, the introduction works very well. You state what you're going to be doing and then you do it. That's very good. That means that there is a very logical progression throughout the text. It's helped by your subheadings as well. So points for that. I will say that when you go into the part of the text where you talk about the deployment of aircraft and personnel in what has been done in Operation Inherent Resolve, you need to collect your data or your information in one paragraph. It seems a bit fragmented. And that is sort of underscored by your sort of points 1, 2, 3 regarding this or that, and then the two next points on the page or on the top of page 2 all leaves that bit of the text a little bit too fragmented. Don't use bullet points or lists like 1, 2, 3. Write it in prose form. That's really what this text is about, is writing in prose form what has happened, what you think, etc. And it just creates more coherence when you do that. Otherwise, it sort of it seems like a list, and it doesn't really give or doesn't help the fluency of the text. Another point that I'd like to make is to do with the editing of the text. Once you've written your first draft, ideally you should leave it and then read it through a day later or some hours later if there's time for that, and read it through in order to find out if you are being precise enough, if you're being coherent, all of those things. There are times where you seem to be writing exclusively to your teacher or to a military reader. That means that there are things that are not perhaps explained quite enough, and it becomes a little bit sort of exclusive. What you can do there is just basically elaborate a little bit. Go back and see, is this point made fully, or am I referring to something that I know the reader will understand because the reader is my teacher, and that person already knows the text and knows this problem very well. Your job is to convey both the information in the text and your point of view to a reader that is has a lot of general information and is able to understand your logic and your reasoning if that person is given enough information. So you're writing to like a fictional person, basically. And sometimes, as I say, you're a little bit exclusive of that reader, and you write to sort of to the insider. So go back and consider that when you do your editing, because it's something that's very much a problem when we've just been reading text about a specific topic and been discussing it in class. It seems quite sort of a leap to be talking to someone who is outside of that kind of circle. and who doesn't know that content as well as you do. But that's really what the job is with structured professional writing. It's to convey your point of view to an outsider. So go back and look at that, and also keep that in mind. I think for the next task, Opgave 6, which you'll be writing for Alan Shapiro, I think you're going to be asked to write the same style of writing for him. So it's worth keeping that in mind for next time. But in summation, it's a good text. So what you need to be doing with the editing, as I say, is tweaking it so that it becomes even clearer, even more elaborated, even more specific. Because everything else is working pretty well. So as always, you can drop me an email if you need anything elaborated, or if you have comments. I'll try and be there for the last face-to-face session in Jonstrup. So that's it for me now. Bye.